Why is your ex an ex? He cheated on me. His excuse was it wasn't anything sexual. I just wanted to show her my dick, then she grabbed it and put it in her. His words, not mine. Because I could predict the entirety of the rest of my life, and I didn't like it. I would have taken over the family bakery and spent every day waking up at 3 AM to make donuts. 9 AM would be the start time for sausages. Leave the bakery at 4 PM. Deposit the daily sales before the bank closes. Drive home and eat the unsold sausages for dinner. Watch TV for 1.5 hours before falling asleep in a chair. Wake up at 3 AM. Repeat. Forever. There was no joy in her father's eyes. Joy left years ago. It was mutual after a couple big discussions. I wanted to travel. She didn't. I don't want to have children. And she did. I didn't want her fucking her ex, but she did. Gotta decide on what your deal breakers are, I guess. She got sick of being taken for granted and dealing with the effects of my insecurities. Because we were two different people in two different places in our life. Also BC, she had a nasty habit of banging my friends, but that's besides the point. He had a sneeze fetish that he obsessed unhealthily over. In my sleep he'd ball up cat hair and try to put it into my nose. I didn't know this until I had a nasty sinus infection and had my sinus flooded out at urgent care. Out came small balls of cat hair. The final straw was cheating on me with a girl who had a bigger nose than me. She was his ex, and he just couldn't get over that nose despite the fact she was literally psychotic. They were perfect for each other. Not my loss, but my mistake ever trying to be tolerant and understanding of him. Makes great material for the biography I'll never write. Turned out the only thing we had in common was that we both liked to eat pussy. Because I'm a selfish asshole. Being a selfish asshole is fine if you're by yourself and want to be that way, but other people tend to not like it very much when looking for company. Faked a pregnancy when I tried to break up. Cheated multiple times. 2 real suicide attempts when I tried to break up. Fake rape claim threat when I tried to break up. My hands started sweating and my heart was racing when I saw pictures of her recently. This happened over 2 years ago. This tiny girl terrifies me. My girlfriend was verbally abusive on a regular basis. She would also get physically abusive when she drank too much. She wasn't really strong enough to hurt me seriously, but when the person you love starts trying to sucker punch you, it is really frustrating. I still miss her a lot. Some days she was wonderful and the sweetest person ever. Others she was bitter, angry, and would do anything to try to get a reaction out of me by insulting me. Started to become my insecure high school self after a while and had to give up. She dealt with a lot of really horrible abuse in her past, and I didn't want to ever be the next abuser because of my own anger and frustration, so I had to let her go. Still miss her. Still love her. Wish things had been different. She was in the closet, so for 4 years I was her dirty little secret. Craved attention and agreed to have her coworkers set her up on a blind date with some dude without even talking to me about it. WTF. Demanded I leave my career and job in another country and go home, stay in her condo and freelance instead, while she continues her career as a lawyer. Harass the person I casually dated after her. Got really mad at me because I moved on and she chose to stay miserable. Haven't had any communication with her for almost a decade now, after I finally blocked her all those years ago. I'm happily married for 6 years now to an amazing woman. Thank God. He threatened suicide every few weeks. He constantly performed tests on me to see if I loved him enough or that I could be trusted. I always failed them. He would demand I stay up on the phone almost every night until 1 AM or later listening, not talking, to him. I would be expected to stay awake and listen to his rambling anecdotes for hours silently. If I spoke, I'd make him lose his train of thought. If I fell asleep, I got screamed at or a day of the cold shoulder. These are just a few examples. I was a young teenager who got sucked into a cycle of psychological abuse for a few years. I'm fine now for the most part. Edit. To those replying that they've been through this too, I'm sorry. I realized I was gay once I saw the guy she was cheating on me with. He didn't feel as strongly about me as I did about him. and he didn't care about how I felt during sex. He was truly a phenomenal person, but something just didn't click romantically. I just didn't feel the way I thought I should have felt about him. He punched me in the face after a petty argument. Well, she passed away, so I guess she is my ex now. I still love her. Because he was a self-centered, emotionally abusive, alcoholic, manipulative anchor of a human being. He destroyed the house I paid for, told me no one else would ever love me, and made everything my fault. Also, he physically abused my dog. Because he wouldn't shut up, and talked all the way through Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. She didn't want to commit, but she didn't want to be alone. She liked to pretend that she didn't need my company and that life was a cabaret, but she did, and it really wasn't for her. Something in her was afraid of getting too close. I just got tired of it. According to her, she just lost her feelings for me. It's been 6 years, and I still dream of her. Not really an ex, but someone I dated for a month or two. Started talking about marriage and having kids after the 3rd or 4th date. Would call me in the middle of the night because she needed help with something that any fully functional adult should be able to do by themselves. That is stuff like lifting a 10-pound object from the floor and placing it on a counter. Finally broke it off when she told me I'm gonna have to cut any and all ties to one of my best friends because I'm not allowed to talk to other girls now that we are dating. She ended up stalking me for like 6 months. Threatened to kill me in my sleep or walk up to the police and tell them I had raped her. Glad she typed that out in detail so I could just easily screen cap everything in case I ever needed the evidence. Called me at 4 AM multiple times after getting shit faced at a bar, and when I'd switch my phone off, she'd send me 80+ messages that usually evolved from trying to guilt trip me to take her back into borderline psychotic ranting and empty threats. She eventually fucked some old dude, got an STD, and claimed it was my fault because I had forced her to do that by not wanting to be with her. So that was fun while it lasted. I'll only give my last 2 to keep it somewhat concise. The woman before my last ex. Well, she had the unfortunate timing of being with me when my father/best friend died unexpectedly when I was in my early 20s. While we had been together about 3 years, I said fuck the world and turned into an alcoholic and moved 2,000 miles away. I actually feel bad for her. 6 months into my self-destructive path, I'm sleeping with this girl on the wrong side of the crazy/hot scale pretty much daily, but I have made it clear it is a FWB situation and I'm not interested in a relationship with her. That didn't work for her, but I just so I keep putting my dick in crazy and drinking. Hindsight is 20/20. So when I start casually dating another woman on the side 6 months later, she, crazy, hot, is pissed and takes it out on my vehicle and with a bout of stalking. That other woman somehow stuck with me, got me help for my drinking, helped me move past the loss of my father and some moderate PTSD from the military, then became my wife and mothered my children. I don't know what I did to deserve her, but she literally saved my life and I'll never be able to repay her. My ex is an ex because he was manipulative and emotionally abusive. He also hated my friends and family. He tried telling me that they were toxic for me, so I could never see them. This was the worst one. We were in a long distance relationship. It wasn't working out for him though, so he broke up with me. We still kept daily contact, however. When he came back to visit my city as his home, he told me that he missed me, and so we hung out the entire week he was there, had sex and all that. I was pretty sure we were going to make it work and get back together. That's what I was hoping. Turns out, when he went back to his other country, I found out by luck that he was actually in a relationship with another girl. So yeah, he cheated on her with me. The best part? This was a girl that I had some red flags up on when we were still together, and he was actually dating her while we were still together. Yup. Felt like a complete idiot, and that's how he became my ex forever. Been married 18 years, so my ex was an ex from about 23 years ago. Reason he's my ex. Got my friend preggers. When I confronted him, he suggested we stay together and have threesomes. Yeah. Nope.